Alright, here's a piece of info for you. These Great Stuff cans are 454 grams as compared with those other cans I was using that were 300 grams. It seems like there's a lot more in these Great Stuff cans. I don't know. But more importantly, these gray stems that come with the Great Stuff cans, gap and cracks, if it's a stem like this, these ones are not flexible. The other ones were really flexible, and so they were good for spraying up into the gaps. But I have to do more gap work, and these ones are not flexible, so it makes it difficult. You can only do the top spray upwards for the first bit of the can, and then it gets too low, and then so that's why I'm doing pieces on the sides here. And so what I'm doing here is I pull the wires out of the channel. I'm going to have them mostly set up here, channeled into the styrofoam. I just think it's a better idea so that they don't get hit with screws when you're putting your panels on. Just my opinion. And I am cutting strips to drop in here so you don't waste a ton of foam trying to fill up that channel. And so yeah, so both cutting pieces of styrofoam to fit down in, and of course the ones to fit in the spot there, and I'll be filling in all around them, of course. And I'm guessing that behind this thing is mostly going to be foam. Summer is beginning here in Nova Scotia. So two things I learned, or one thing I learned, or maybe I didn't learn anything, I don't know, it's hard to say. So I've been taking the wires that did run down in this channel, which I'm going to screw into for panels and stuff, and I relocated them halfway up the riser here, just cut a little indent in the styrofoam and taping them in there so that there's no chance of me hitting them with screws when I get building. And I'm just doing that wherever the slack will allow me. And yeah, hopefully I didn't make any mistakes there. But anyway, the other thing is, last night when I was out here, so I made a little faux pas back on this one. I'm leaving these panels in because I'm going to use them as a screw point for the panels that are going to go across here, the solid wood panels. And but I had put my pieces in on the sides before I filled up this. So I wound up stuffing little bits of hard styrofoam and then putting the spray gun in there and spraying it and trying to fill it up. But you're kind of filling it like I was filling it from the top down, and you wind up sealing, a bunch of stuff in here that the air can't get to make it cure. So this morning when I came out to trim all this stuff, I could hear as I was trimming the release of stuff that had been pent up, and it's starting to come out and cure. But anyway, so that's one mistake I made, was not dealing with this cavity before I put the pieces on either side. These are 2-inch pieces, and in behind here I should have put 1-inch pieces and then some other filler pieces and then spray foamed it, which is what oh, I guess I did there. You just can't see the see there's a piece in there, and then I spray foamed on top of it and then in front of it to lock it in there, take up space so you don't use up spray foam if you're using cans. And I'll do the same thing there. I'll put a piece in there, spray foam in front of it, and have these wires all run up here, because I'm never going to put a screw through up here except into this. And when I do that, I do it at the bottom and at the top to secure that, not in the center where the wires are going to run. So that's my thought process on that. But anyway, yeah, slow but sure. Slow but sure. If I ever graduate to a box truck, in all likelihood I will just have it sprayed. It'll cost more, but it'll be fast and thorough. And yes, because this takes forever. Tremendous amount of patience for someone like me. But I'm getting it, and I'll make sure it's all sealed all the way around so that there's an absolute seal, vapor barrier, and yeah, just an absolute heat and vapor seal. And then after I've got that all sealed up, I'll be putting a roof vent probably in here, 6-inch round roof vent, MaxxAir. I've got one ordered. Instead of going with the big square one, I went with the round 6-inch manual pop-up and just a button to turn it on or off. Now you could gear up controls to you know, cause it to come on a certain amount of heat or humidity or whatever, but anyway, that's the way that is. Trying to keep my work area reasonably clean. I find that helps the job go better, and it's good for my mental health. Anyway, that's what I got for now. Securing the wires up, sealing foam inside those things. See, as you can see in here, I have my piece in there. I only had to make that mistake once, and I'll use up more foam than I should sealing in back there. But we're getting her done. We're getting her done on this one, and on the other ones there'll be styrofoam. That styrofoam is sealed to the wall and to this next piece of styrofoam. So between all the between all the styrofoam, there will be a spray foam seal to create a vapor barrier. When you're doing this, if you're doing it this tight, there really shouldn't be any need to use vapor barrier or anything like that. I heard some people say, "Oh, you want the van to breathe." I guess that depends on what climate you're in. I guess maybe in the south, but up here, if you're in minus 30 degree Celsius weather, you want this thing to hold heat real good. You don't want any breathing walls creating condensation between the hot and the cold, and you want to be able to control the amount of air that's going out, which I will do with the roof vent that's going in, or create the amount of moisture by the exhaust fan. But anyway, okay, back at her. It's a little bit cleaner. I'm out here cutting the next few pieces, listening to Cheap RV Living with Bob Wells. And today's guest is Penelope the Clown. And she's so awesome. So wonderfully awesome. So I put in the panels, and then I just kind of carve out a little section. It doesn't go all the way through to the wall, but just deep enough to take most of the wires into it. And this will be a solid piece of thin plywood going up here after this is up. I've been trimming the top edge off of this one because it sticks out a little bit past this, and this is my main screw point up front here, because when I screw it in, I'll be able to probably put in a screw here, you know, and then along here, but this will wind up getting held in place basically by the bulkhead that has to go back in here. But yeah, we're getting there. All right, it is a hot summer day today. We have forest fires raging. So it's a little bit smoky. But anyway, I just thought I would say that, you know, you insulate your van and in the process maybe forget why you're doing it. and then you get a really hot summer day where the sun is directly hitting the top of this. In years past, with the little to no factory insulation, it would be unbearably hot in here. It would just be stupid as to how hot it was. And with just the roof done, and just the fiberglass covered up, with the exception of the nose up there, that's not done yet, it is a very noticeable difference when you take the shell out of the equation. When it's all insulated like this, that turtle top, yeah, big difference. And with the little sliders open, it's very nice in there. It's quite comfortable. And I'm not working terribly hard today, just pacing myself. But yep, no problem working in this. And it's probably like 25 or more degrees Celsius. And so yeah, so it's just kind of cool when you prematurely see the results of what it is you were trying to achieve in the first place. So if you're going to really hot climates or cold climates, I am here to tell you that insulation makes a big difference. All right, first component just came in. This is the MaxxFan Dome. It's a 6-inch, and it's just a manual pop-up open and closed with a single button on or off, and it only discharges, it doesn't pull air in. And let me see, designed for rooftop or sidewall applications. 6-inch exhaust only fan with a manual lift lid, locking lid with single hand push button operation, removable screens make cleaning a breeze, for 1-inch roof thickness. Extensions available up to 6-inch. I could not get a link or find a 6-inch extension, so I may have to get a little MacGyverish on that one. Packaged with a matching fan guard that must be used for sidewall. Oh yes, so if you're going to mount that in the side. And I'm still a little bit undecided. I got to see how far the 6 stands below the roof, but on these turtle tops, you got to make a decision. Okay, you're going to be ahead of the bump or behind the bump. But if you go behind the bump, it's going to limit your... I have some ideas for storage up there, and possibly solar in the long run. And so there's not a lot of real estate up here, and none of it's even, so it's like, okay, what are you going to do? So I'm thinking right here on this first one, which would put it probably right above the side door, but all this is still in the deep thought mode. But anyway, let's take a look at this fan. Normally I put it on a tripod, but I'm trying to be like a real van lifer where I don't bother and I just hand hold it, and it looks absolutely horrible. And I am no good at one hand things. Can't even put my socks on standing up. Alright. So I got the black top one because my roof is dark blue, and it's going to be even darker blue after I touch it up. So that's your sidewall rain protector if you do put it in the sidewall. I don't even know if I could. I guess I could. And kind of a spectacle looking thing as opposed to just a little dome if you go on the top. So anyway, many thoughts, no decisions yet. So it looks just like I expected it would. Let me see. Push button, a push button release. Yep, you're sideways and I can't push this out, holding on to it. Okay, never mind. Alright, just looking it over. The build quality is not bad. I guess maybe it's still common with accessories that they're still using the old style glass fuse. I find that kind of interesting, instead of the normal plug-in ones of this modern age. But it takes a 5 amp glass fuse, and button over here I guess is probably on and off. Funny it doesn't click, or does it? Oh yes it does. Yeah, it's very fine. And you know, the build quality seems decent. It's not bad. If it was a little bit better, I would say, wow, this thing is awesome. So I'm just short of saying that. But it doesn't seem junky. It seems pretty good. Now, after the sun beats on it for a few years, like everything, I guess they'll wear out. The thickness of the plastic in the top is decent. It's not flimsy. Rubber seal here. And yeah, it's just a straight pop-up. Alright. Oh my goodness, looky. That's why I couldn't get a link. They include the 6-inch extension in this one. There's your bottom thing, your bottom ring, and there's your extension. Isn't that cool? So now I got to get a 6-inch hole saw. Oh, that's pretty nifty. Surprise, surprise.
Are you beaten, broken, destroyed, got nothing left? You've given up and you feel like checking out? Don't. Start thinking outside the cage.
So tell me, how do you feel? Have you been handed more than you can deal? Better hit the open road or blaze across the sky if you can't do it for